Unlock Passive Income, your guide to creating and selling online courses in 2025. Alright, so let's talk about something that I think is a massive opportunity for so many of you out there. Do you have a skill, a particular talent, or some kind of expertise that you've noticed other people are genuinely curious about? Maybe it's something you do effortlessly, something you've spent years mastering, or even a problem you've figured out how to solve that others are still struggling with. Think about it. What do friends, family, or even colleagues constantly ask you for help with? That knowledge right there is incredibly valuable, and a lot of people underestimate just how much others would be willing to pay to learn it. Now, imagine taking that skill, that knowledge, and packaging it up in a way that not only helps people but also generates income for you, potentially passively, while you sleep. What if you could turn that expertise into a consistent stream of revenue by teaching online? We're talking about creating an asset that works for you 24/7. It sounds almost too good to be true, I know, but it's more achievable now than ever before, especially as we head into 2025. The demand for online learning is absolutely booming, and people are actively seeking out specific knowledge from individuals who can teach it effectively. So, in today's video, I'm going to break it all down for you. We're going to walk through step by step exactly how to create and sell your very own online course in 2025. And the best part? You can do this even if you've never created a course before, even if you think you're not teacher material, and even if you're starting with a budget of, well, pretty much zero. We're going to cover everything from finding your profitable idea to getting your first students. Let's dive into this powerful way to earn money while genuinely helping others grow and achieve their goals. Smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and let's get started. Alright, so the very first step, and honestly this is where a lot of people get stuck, is choosing your course topic. It sounds simple, but it's absolutely crucial to get this right. You need to pick a topic that you not only know well, but also, ideally, something you're genuinely passionate about. Trust me, if you're not interested in what you're teaching, it's going to come across to your students, and the whole process will feel like a chore. So, think deeply about what you're good at. What skills have you developed over the years, either through your job, hobbies, or just life experiences? Now here's a common misconception I want to clear up right away. You do not need to be a PhD or the world's foremost expert on a subject to teach it. Seriously, you don't. All you really need is to be a few steps ahead of your target audience. If you know more than someone else about a particular topic and can explain it clearly, you have something valuable to offer. Think about it like this. If you figured out how to bake amazing sourdough bread after months of trial and error, you're perfectly qualified to teach beginners who are just starting their sourdough journey. You're relatable because you were recently in their shoes. One of the best ways to brainstorm potential course topics is to reflect on what people already ask you for help with. What questions do you find yourself answering over and over again? Okay, so you've got a list of potential course topics, that's awesome. But before you dive headfirst into creating hours of content, we need to do something super important: validate your idea. This means finding out if there's actual demand for your course. Trust me on this, you don't want to spend weeks or even months building something amazing, only to launch it to crickets. Validating your idea up front saves you a ton of time, energy, and potential heartache. It's a critical step that many aspiring course creators skip, and it often leads to disappointment. One of the easiest ways to start validating is by searching existing online course marketplaces like Udemy or Skillshare. Type in keywords related to your course topic and see what comes up. Are there similar courses already available? Now, don't be discouraged if you find some. In fact, some competition can actually be a good sign. It means there's an existing market, and people are already paying for this type of content. Look at the popular courses in your niche. What are they teaching? How many students do they have? What do the reviews say, both good and bad? This research is invaluable. Pay close attention to the reviews on these existing courses. The positive reviews will tell you what people love and what they find valuable. The negative reviews are even more important, in my opinion. They highlight gaps in the market, things that current courses are missing, or areas where students are left confused or wanting more. Alright, so you've chosen your topic and, crucially, you've validated that people actually want to learn about it. Fantastic. Now comes the fun part, at least for me, planning your course content. This is where you take your big idea and break it down into a logical, easy-to-follow structure. A well-planned course is the difference between students feeling overwhelmed and confused versus feeling empowered and making real progress. So don't just wing it, let's create a solid blueprint. The first thing you want to do is outline your entire course. Think of it like creating a table of contents for a book. What are the major milestones a student needs to hit to go from where they are now to achieving the desired outcome your course promises? These major milestones will become your main modules or sections. You want to break down the complex topic into clear, digestible, bite-sized pieces. Each piece should build upon the last, creating a smooth learning journey for your students. A good, general structure that works for many courses looks something like this. You start with an introduction module. This is where you welcome students, tell them what they're going to learn, what they can expect, and maybe a little bit about yourself and why you're qualified to teach this. Then, you'll have your core content, which could be, say, 3 to 5 main lessons or modules. Each of these main modules will dive deep into a specific aspect of your overall topic. Chapter 4. Lights, Camera, Action Recording Your Course Content. Okay, you've got your killer course topic, it's validated, and you've meticulously planned out all your modules and lessons. Now it's time to actually create the course content. And for many, this means recording. But here's the good news, especially if you're a bit camera shy like I was when I first started, you absolutely do not need to be on camera if you're not comfortable. Seriously, there are so many successful courses out there where you never even see the instructor's face. The quality of your information is what matters most. One of the most popular and easiest ways to create course content without being on camera is by using voiceover slides. You can create your slides in PowerPoint, Google Slides, or my personal favorite for this, Canva, which has amazing templates. Then, you simply record your voice explaining the concepts on each slide. This is super effective for topics that are information heavy or require visual aids like charts, graphs, or bullet points. Chapter 5. Where will your course live? Choosing the right platform. Alright, you've put in the hard work, and your course content is recorded and edited. It's looking sharp. Now the big question is, where are you going to host and sell this masterpiece? Choosing the right platform is a really important decision because it impacts how you'll reach your audience, how much control you have, and how you get paid. There are quite a few options out there, each with its own pros and cons, so let's break down some of the top choices to help you decide. First up, we have the big marketplaces like Udemy. The massive advantage of Udemy is its huge existing audience. We're talking millions of students actively searching for courses. Udemy also handles a lot of the marketing for you, which can be a huge relief if you're just starting out and don't have a big following. The downside, you have less control over pricing, as Udemy often runs big sales, and they take a significant cut of the revenue, especially if they bring in the student through their marketing efforts. But for discoverability, it's hard to beat. Then you have platforms like Teachable or Thinkific. These are often called course creation platforms, and they give you much more control. With Teachable, for example, you build your own branded school. You set your own pricing, you own your student data, which is huge for email marketing, and you generally keep a much larger percentage of the revenue. The trade-off is that you're primarily responsible for driving traffic to your course. These platforms typically charge a monthly fee, so you need to factor that into your budget. But the control and branding can be well worth it. Okay, this is a big one, and something that a lot of new course creators really struggle with: pricing your course. How much should you charge? It's a delicate balance. Price it too low, and you might devalue your work or not make enough to justify your effort. Price it too high, and you might scare away potential students, especially if you're just starting out. The good news is, there are some general guidelines and strategies we can look at to help you find that sweet spot. First off, your pricing will often be influenced by the platform you choose. For example, if you're on Udemy, they have a very specific pricing culture. Most courses on Udemy are sold for relatively low prices, often in the $10 to $30 range, especially during their frequent sales events. While you can set a higher list price, expect it to be heavily discounted. This model relies on high-volume sales. So, if you're on Udemy, you'll likely be pricing your course competitively within that lower range to attract their massive user base. Now, if you're using a platform like Teachable, Thinkific, or selling directly through Gumroad, you have much more flexibility and control over your pricing. For niche courses on these platforms, where you're targeting a specific audience with a specific solution, you can typically charge more. A common price range here might be anywhere from $49 to $199, or even higher. Students on these platforms often expect a more premium-focused experience and are willing to pay for it, especially if you've built trust and authority. Alright, so your course is created, it's hosted on a platform, and you've set a price. You're probably feeling pretty good, and you should be. But here's a crucial reality check. Even the most amazing, life-changing course in the world won't sell itself if nobody knows it exists. Marketing is absolutely essential. You need to get your course out there in front of the right people. Now don't worry if you're not a marketing guru. There are plenty of effective strategies you can use, even as a beginner. One of the most powerful and accessible ways to market your course is through social media. Pick one or two platforms where your target audience hangs out. Are they on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, X, formerly Twitter? Create content that provides genuine value related to your course topic. Share tips, insights, quick wins, and behind-the-scenes glimpses. Don't just constantly shout, "Buy my course." Instead, focus on building a community and establishing yourself as an authority. You can share value-packed snippets from your course. Go live to answer questions, or post engaging reels and short videos explaining key concepts. Building an email list is, without a doubt, one of the most valuable things you can do for your online course business. I cannot stress this enough. Your email list is an asset you own, unlike social media followers, which can disappear if a platform changes its algorithm or shuts down. Offer a compelling freebie, often called a lead magnet, in exchange for people's email addresses. This could be a free mini guide, a checklist, a short video workshop, or a PDF related to your course topic. Tools like ConvertKit, Beehive, or MailChimp make it easy to manage your list and send out emails. Once you have people on your email list, you can nurture that relationship by sending them regular valuable content, and then, when the time is right, you can promote your course to them. Alright, you've launched your course, and hopefully you're starting to see those first few students roll in. That's an incredible milestone, so take a moment to celebrate it. But here's the thing, launching your course isn't the end of the journey, it's really just the beginning. To build a truly successful and sustainable online course business, you need to focus on growing and optimizing what you've created. Don't just set it and forget it. There's always room for improvement and expansion. One of the most valuable things you can do post-launch is to actively solicit and listen to student feedback. Your students are your best source of information on what's working well in your course and what could be improved. Send out surveys, ask for reviews, or even hop on a quick call with a few students. Are there any lessons they found confusing? Are there any topics they wish you had covered in more detail? Use this feedback to refine your existing content, add new materials, or clarify explanations. This iterative improvement process is key to long-term success. Don't be afraid to update and add new modules to your course over time. The world changes, new techniques emerge, and your own understanding of the topic will likely deepen. So, there you have it, your complete roadmap to creating and successfully selling your very own online course in 2025. We've covered everything from brainstorming that initial idea and making sure people actually want it, all the way through planning, recording, choosing a platform, pricing, marketing, and even thinking about long-term growth. It might seem like a lot, but by breaking it down into these manageable steps, it's absolutely achievable, even if you're starting from scratch. The key is to take action on each step. Whether you're passionate about teaching photography, coding, graphic design, creative writing, personal finance, fitness, cooking, or even something as niche as advanced Excel spreadsheet techniques or productivity tips for busy parents, trust me, there's an audience out there eagerly waiting to learn from your unique experience and perspective. You have valuable knowledge, and packaging it into an online course is one of the best ways to share it with the world, make a real impact, and generate income in the process. If you're feeling inspired and ready to turn your knowledge into a thriving online income stream, then do me a quick favor and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It really helps the channel out. Make sure you're subscribed to Money Via for more practical tips on making money online and building financial freedom. And now, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell us, what online course would you create first? I read all the comments and I'm excited to see your ideas. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.